Battle of the Hearts. When love is measured by silence, sacrifice, and a slight chance. In a small, sun-drenched village where silence often speaks louder than words, a love story of no ordinary kind unfolds. A story of two men, a woman, and a glimmer of hope in the face of fate. After a long and painful hospital stay, Diep returns home, not because she is cured, but because modern medicine can no longer find answers. Diagnosed with a terminal illness, the doctors leave her in the care of loved ones, hoping that the warmth of familiar walls and unconditional love will give her the will to fight, even as her body weakens. Beside her is James, the man she has always loved. He is no longer the elegant CEO in a tailored suit. Now, he was a caregiver, a nurse, a cook, a gentle shadow by her side. When she winced in pain in the morning, it was James who brought her fever down through the night with damp cloths and gentle words. When she lost her appetite, it was James who seasoned her porridge to perfection and mixed herbal medicine as if every drop contained a miracle. But then, just as life was settling into a sweet rhythm, a storm arose in someone else's heart. Tung, the man who had loved Diep from afar for years, appeared again. Unlike James, he had never been bold enough to declare it. He had loved quietly, always as a friend, as a brother, until now. Their love triangle flared up when Tung confronted James, emotions that had been suppressed for years. I used to think it was best for her to step back, he said. But not now. The atmosphere between them grew tense, but it wasn't a duel, it was a battle of devotion. But life must go on. When James leaves temporarily to deal with a crisis at work, the house becomes quiet. Diep forces herself to move, cleaning, watering the plants, tending the vegetable garden that has been abandoned since her illness. Each step is heavy, but she keeps going, not wanting to fall into despair. She does it not only for herself, but also for the man who sacrificed everything to comfort her. Meanwhile, Tung sits in her father's garden, restless, haunted by the image of Diep weak on his deathbed. His father, a wise, experienced man, puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "If you love her, be brave." Don't make the same mistake that caused you to lose Lan. The memory is seared deep. Years ago, Tung let Lan, his first love, slip away, too poor, too uncertain, too afraid. The regret nearly destroyed him. But Diep saved his soul. No longer helpless, Tung decided, this time he would not run away. He would confess, and then, he found her, in the soft morning sunlight of the garden. Her hands were buried in the dirt, sweat beaded on her forehead, her spirits wavering but bright. He asked where James was. Busy, she said softly. I'm feeling better. Just trying to get my strength back. Without another word, Tung rolled up his sleeves and came to her. In the simple rhythm of tending the vegetables, pruning leaves, wiping dust from her cheeks, they bonded again. There were no flashy gestures. Just a quiet joy, a kind of companionship that spoke of something long unspoken. When the work was done, they sat under the plum tree. The wind died down. Tung looked at her and said, his voice trembling between strength and weakness. I'm not saying this to compare myself to James, or to take you away from him. I just want you to know, I'm here. And if you'll let me, I want to be the one to take care of you. Diep was stunned. Her lips moved, but the words were stuck. The man she had always considered a silent friend, an ever-present, was now standing before her heart, bearing everything. Tung just smiled and whispered, you don't have to answer me anymore. Just knowing that you know is enough for me. He stood up, brushed the dust off his sleeves, and walked away, leaving only the warmth of his hand and the echo of a truth that could not be more silent. But fate had another irony. At the gate, Tung faced James, who had just returned from a business trip. Their eyes met. A quiet storm was brewing. Tung spoke first, his voice no longer wavering. I once backed away, thinking you could make her happy. I was wrong. From now on, I will fight for her love. Without waiting for a response, he stepped forward, each step bold, without remorse. A declaration, not of war, but of a heart finally freed. James stood still. His silence was heavy. A new chapter had begun, not just of rivalry, but of a profound challenge, of love, of sacrifice, of a person truly seeing Diep not just as she was, but as she could still be. And what about Diep? She is at a crossroads, between loyalty and newfound possibilities. Between a love that has weathered every storm, and a love that waits quietly behind every door.